Well, hey everybody, 650 Eve here. Welcome home to the channel. I'm back at Sills Motor Sales in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm on a quest to make my 2023 BMW M1000RR full carbon. Now, Manny from Moto Million has already helped in this effort. I do have a full 6 carbon fiber subframe and full 6 carbon fiber fuel tank. And as you know, on the M1000RR, almost everything else on the bike except for the swing arm is already carbon fiber. Well, today, Zach the Master Mechanic's inside, and we're going to install the last carbon fiber bit onto my beautiful machine. Let's go inside and check on Zach. Is this a lot of useless, painful work, Zach?
No, it's not that bad. We got to get the last piece of carbon fiber on, right?
Yes, of course.
More so, we want it to work, though. So we've always had issues where after we change the side stand, the hill assist doesn't work. And then your fuel, once you get down and it counts down to 0, it just stays there, never resets. So like 2 years ago, we went crazy on I went crazy on your old M bike in the wintertime.
Yep.
And just stared at a wiring diagram, changed everything I thought I could. The only spot I saw a connection between the two was in the ABS box. BMW actually let me put an ABS box on it. Then finally they come back to me, they're like, oh, the guy that designed this system said hill start and fuel gauge both run off your side stand. I'm like,
no way.
What? No way.
Yeah.
So actually your first side stand was kind of coming apart, so it was a good thing we found that.
Yeah.
But we put your stock side stand back on, it was fine. Now what's odd is if we look at this, the hole looks like it's in about the same place.
Yes.
So this is, where do we go? So this is our side stand switch. So all it does is when your side stand's down, this little guy rotates and it breaks contact, I believe.
Okay.
And then when your side stand goes up, it comes up and then it makes contact.
Yep.
But if it doesn't see that cycle, it won't allow your fuel gauge to reset, and it doesn't let the hill assist, which is you pull the front brake lever and it holds the bike.
Yeah.
It doesn't let that work. So last minute, actually, while we were putting together Jim Caviezel's bike, gave it to you, you rode it a little bit, and sure enough, with this on it, it didn't work.
Yes.
So he's like, we got to make it work. So I was like, well, luckily it wasn't working. So we finally had one that didn't work. And all I did was push up on this tab a little bit. And finally the fuel level displayed. Now, he hasn't ridden the bike much since he got it.
No.
So we don't know that this is a true fix. But I found that how far I had to turn this was putting a hole at about 12 o'clock right here.
Yes.
So I'm going to install this, mount this, mark it up, and drill a new hole. And you're going to give it a shot, and hopefully, I think it's going to work.
I think so too.
Especially because like that was a positive thing. We saw it not working, and we saw it working. So this might be the fix, and same thing would be for your Brock's side stands too.
Yep.
You guys will just have to pull your switch, have a buddy watch or something, push up on this. Once your fuel starts displaying, mark it, drill the new hole, put your switch back together, and you should be able to get your fuel gauge back, hopefully. All right, so a little power tool action. We got it so this slides in and out because that's what we want. You actually don't really have to grease this. I'll just put a little bit on that top side because if you look, that orange piece right there is a bushing that's what provides all the necessary friction reducing material. Pop this guy in. It's a really long bolt.
Let's see.
So I think we're gonna go right about there with our side stand switch. We're gonna go right at 12 o'clock. I can grab my little center punch. All right, so I just picked a drill bit size that fits inside there nicely. And then we'll go off my center punched hole and make a new one. Got a nice sharp drill bit for once.
Okay. Breaking through?
Yeah, making those nice shavings. Let's see how we're doing. I can't remember if we got to go all the way through or not. So that lines up, and we do not have to go all the way through. That's touching.
Nice.
So we'll go just a hair more. Blow all the shavings out of there. Their original hole does go all the way through, but I guess it is not necessary. And then we just put our screw back in for our sensor, and hopefully This will allow our fuel level to be displayed. Side stand functions as it should. Put our shifter back together.
Both bikes have a full tank of premium fuel, as you can see right there. And this one comes in at 436 pounds. Now, we'll move this off the scales and we will weigh my machine. My M1000 also has a full tank of premium 93 octane, which is the best we have to offer in the United States fuel. And it comes in at 416 pounds. That's a 20-pound difference between these two machines. That's why, guys, I absolutely refuse to ride a stock machine, because we've shed a lot of weight, and in the process, we've made that bike absolutely breathtaking all the same. We can see these two machines side by side, and we have my Moto M1000RR. Let's observe and check out all of the parts that makes my bike unique and not stock. Let's start with the Brembo braking system. You see a Brembo rear caliper on the stock bike. It has the BMW rear caliper. That's a big difference. We move over to the Öhlins suspension, and we have it right there. It's beautiful. It works great. This one has a stock suspension. I believe it's by a company called Sox. Yeah. While we're back here, let's take a look at the subframe. This is a full 6 carbon fiber full subframe. This is not a cover. This is made from one piece of carbon fiber, and it looks magnificent. We even had competition and the typical BMW colors put onto the subframe and then clear coated over so it will never go anywhere. We have the stock subframe on this bike. It's nice. It's a trellis in form, but it is not carbon fiber. We have a tail tidy from New Rage Cycles. Second generation LED light back there, and this one has the stock tail tidy. We can examine the exhaust. Full titanium aero exhaust looks wonderful on this bike. Changed magnificent colors naturally over time through various heat cycles. And on this bike, we have the Akrapovic exhaust. Catalytic converter dwells underneath this machine, and you can see while we're here, it only has half of a carbon fiber belly pan. And on this bike, we have the full carbon fiber belly pan, which is actually an extension piece sold by Moto Million that looks like it was actually meant to be on this Sig Savage machine. Clear clutch cover exposing the Motul 300V oil is on this bike. Looks great. The standard silver casing clutch cover on the stock machine. Fuel tank wise, we do have a full 6 100% carbon fiber fuel tank that also has the M stickers clear coated into them. And on this bike, we have a stock aluminum fuel tank with the stock fuel cap. On this machine, we have the TWM quick release fuel cap. We can check out the Rizoma brake reservoir. It looks great. The beautiful Motul RS660 brake fluid has stayed a nice color because of the Motul sock that we keep over this at all times. We have a clear Tygon hose and a stylobus bleeder valve up there right next to the RCS Corsa Corta 17 Brembo master cylinder. And it has a TWM matching lever on the other side. This one, we have the stock master cylinder, stock brake reservoir, and stock levers. If we spin around towards the front of the machines, you'll notice that this one has plastic in the inside of the air intake. On my bike, carbon fiber intake, guys. I think that's absolutely beautiful and brilliant. This bike also has the full Pro-Tie blue bolt package. Every exposed bolt, and even some that you don't see, are blue titanium bolts. You can see the Brembo front caliper, red Staubus bleeder valve. And on this one, we have the M-Spec front caliper. And you can see the difference of not having Pro-Tie blue bolts, especially on what we call the hatchets, right? Look at that, and now look at this. Oh my gosh, guys. It's the little things like this that every time I look at this machine, I go nuts. Rizoma mirrors, very stylish. They look great. You have the stock mirrors, which I actually like because the turn signals are integrated and they have a nice design. But still, I prefer to have the Rizoma brake reservoir and the Rizoma mirrors. We do have a full 6-lever guard. It's also carbon fiber. This one has a lever guard as well, made of plastic and aluminum. If we look at the kicking stand, it is also carbon fiber on this machine. We have Samco blue hoses. We have Samco hoses over there and a red line cooler. We spin around over here and you can see that we have stock hoses with the stock clamps. We even have the stock shifter, and on my bike, we have an Alpha Racing shifter, which makes it more precise, has an LED light on it, and it makes the shifts more clean, crisp, and precise. You can tell this thing hasn't been Brentoon flashed yet because it still has a very high startup, very high idle. It'll settle down just a little bit. This also has the stock Enduro chain, and I have the EK3D black and gold chain, sprocket bolts and everything else. Stock seat cover, mine is of course Louis MOTO, supplies all of my seat covers. They do a magnificent job. This one has a couple different textures, feels and looks great. And I decided to use my stock rear sets because they are pretty nice and amazing. No need to replace those. All right, from stock to fully modified. we certainly know which bike sounds the best, huh? We know which bike looks the best. Leave a note in the comments and tell me, would you prefer to have the stock M1000RR or my fully modified Moto Million M1000RR? I mean, some people might consider that to be too much parts, too much carbon fiber. I don't know. I absolutely love it. I think it's just beautiful. But let me know in the comments what you think. So this is like the 4th time I filled up. And let's take a look at that fuel gauge over there, make sure that it's working with the mod that Zach did to the kicking stand. We're going to see in a second. There's 3 bars that should populate in just a second. Not sure if we'll be able to catch that or not. Oh, there, look at that. It's working. Another test of Zach's fix for the kickstand and the fuel gauge and hill hold, and I'm sure it's going to work just magnificently. Keep your eyeballs posted on my fuel gauge, as it's going to register that we are filling up this tank with 93 octane fuel. It's about half full now, and at some point it's going to be full. There it is, look. Outstanding. So as usual, as I said before, Zach to the rescue. And I'm going to fill this thing up to the maximum level, because I'm a heavy guy, and if I don't do this, I'm going to run out of fuel way before the rest of these guys do. So I'd like to be all the way to the top. Look at that. I probably still have a little more to go. I don't really worry about this too much because it is going to burn away very quickly, because from here we're jumping back on the highway, but this sucker is full and the fuel gauge works.